Hey everybody. So I want to talk about making priorities, goals, and really what it takes to get where you want to be as a creative entrepreneur. I know there are so many different things to think about. I remember that infographic I made, and it's like all these connected dots, and I know that's what your mind feels like because mine feels that way too. But sometimes we really have to step back and create a strategy in order to achieve our goals. So the first thing you need to figure out are, what are your big goals and your big dreams? Like, where do you want to be in your personal life? Where do you want your business to be in a year, 5 years, 10 years? So you need to take a look at that. Then you need to figure out your finances. How much do you need to personally survive? How much does your business need to survive? How much extra do you want to make on top of that to save or to afford other things in your life? So you need to think about all of those things and how these things actually work together. Because you can be doing a lot of things, but unless you're taking the right actions to move you forward to your goals, you aren't going to get anywhere. So it's really a good idea to take those two things first, your goals, your dreams, and what your financial goals and dreams, and make sure that these things align. So for example, if your dream is to print fabric on spoon flour and you need to make $10,000 a month to live or $5,000 a month to live, how many yards of fabric do you have to sell each month to make that amount of money? If you make $10 per art print and you need $5,000 a month to live, you have to sell 500 art prints per month. So what's the reality of that? And then what does it take to sell 500 art prints per month? It's not just putting it up on Etsy and then it happens. It's going to take advertising. It's going to take social media marketing. It's going to take email marketing. It's going to take all these different things for you to actually make those sales. So you really have to figure out where you're going to spend your time, what is the profitable decision for you to be able to move forward and keep making money. So you need to take all those little things into account when you're making your big plans. But when it comes down to prioritizing your plans, there's a system I use of back planning, and it really works with big goals or small projects as it happens within a week, 3 days. You can use the same exact system, but it's really about seeing what needs to be done, like what's the big end goal, and when does that need to be done? You have to start assigning your goals a timeline now. So when does that need to be done? What are the smaller goals that you have to achieve to reach that big goal? And when do those have to be achieved, and what order do they have to be achieved? So for example, let's say I'm a surface pattern designer, and my goal is to pitch my portfolio. Okay, what does that mean to me? Do I want to pitch it with a website, or do I want to pitch it with a PDF? How many collections do I want to pitch in my portfolio? What's the minimum it takes for me to move forward? Do I just need one collection? Actually, yeah, that will do. You could pitch one collection. So don't get hung up on having all these things to move forward. You just need to figure out what's the minimum viable product you need for you to move forward at the moment. So if you want to have a portfolio, what is that portfolio? What is in that portfolio? And then what does it take to make those collections? So you're working backwards from the big product, going backwards to see all the little steps you have to take to get there. And then you need to assign those a timeline. So you need to say, okay, I want my portfolio done in 6 weeks. And it's going to take me 1 week for me to build my portfolio. And I want to have 3 collections in it. And it's going to take me 1 week each to make each collection. So here I am at my 6-week deadline. Week 5, I need to start building my portfolio. Week 4, I need to already have all 3 of my collections done by that week 5 deadline. So week 3, I need to have 2 collections done. Week 2, I need to have 1 collection done. Week 1, here I am, I'm starting the whole thing. So that's how you can project your timeline working forward and achieving your goals. Now the thing is, with things like this, as designers, because we love doing all of this stuff, you can't get distracted. So you have to really realize am I doing or am I acting? Am I taking actions that are moving me toward my goal? I can be driving around in a car all day going nowhere, wasting gas and energy and time, and never get anywhere. And I'm driving, I'm doing, but I'm not acting, I'm not getting and achieving. So you need to really figure out what are those actions that are moving you forward and spend your time wisely. So for example, on Spoonflower, there's weekly challenges. And I see so many people every week. I'm working on Spoonflower. These are the same people who told me they wanted to have their portfolio done 2 months ago. Well, now they have all these Spoonflower things and they might make a few dollars here and there over the next couple months, but their portfolio's not done and they haven't pitched it and they're not moving forward because they're getting caught up on Spoonflower. They're not just getting caught up on actually participating in the challenges, they're also getting caught up on going back and checking to see if they won, if they vote, they have to go and vote and scroll through all of the things till they find their design. All of that takes time. And you have to ask yourself, is that worth my time? Is that energy where I need to be putting it to move forward? All right, so those are a lot of things to think about, but you really need to start sitting down and mapping out some of these ideas. So I'm just going to show you loosely and broadly how I kind of work through the year to map out some of these ideas. All right, let's take a look on my little worksheets. Okay. You don't need any fancy materials to prioritize and make plans. I basically use a piece of paper, a Sharpie, my pen, some note cards, my little worksheets. All right, so first thing I do is I get an idea. I sit down every quarter and I figure out what I'm gonna be doing for the next year. And I review this every quarter. I see if I'm on track, what I need to adjust. I just divide my sheet up into 6 quadrants really loosely. And I do January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. All right, so I get all those locked in. I figure out, what are non-negotiables? I am taking off the end of the year. I'm off from the 25th to the 1st. I'm off for Thanksgiving weekend. I'm off on my birthday, April 7th. So I put those all in for my year. So now let's say here we are and I want to have my portfolio done by January 1st. I want to start pitching January 1st. So here I am December. I know I want to have this week off, so I really need to have my portfolio done by the 24th. So now I start working backwards from the 24th as my deadline. And I just work backwards. What do I want done? If I need mock-ups, and that's the most complicated thing to do, and I need to build my portfolio, and I need to have my collections done, how do those all go in order? So last I'm going to put my portfolio together because I need to have everything done. So let's say the first 2 weeks from the 1st through the 15th, I am working on my portfolio. Let's say next I need to have my mock-ups because I need to have my collections done before my mock-ups. So let's say the weekend before Thanksgiving, so around the 15th, I'm working on mock-ups. And then that means I need to have my collections done before that week. So let's say the week of the 7th, I need 1 mock-up done. And then, working backwards so on, not 1 mock-up, 1 collection. And then working backwards, I need to have 1 collection done here. I need to have 1 collection done here. And so now you have your 3-4 collections done before you have your mock-ups. You need that done before you have your portfolio, and then you meet your deadline. So it's kind of always back planning and working backwards. It will work for big goals, or it will work for a small project that you have to achieve a deadline within a few days. All right, so that's the first thing I do, is planning everything out loosely. Next thing I do is when it comes down to the actual month, I take a look at my month and I figure out what I need to do each week. And then the things that I do every week, like work on a weekly video or work on a lead magnet, that's the checklist because I don't want to think about it every week. It's on here. I know I do it every week. There's no reason for me to have to write it down every week. That's a waste of time. Be efficient. So here are things that I check out every month. I check out Surface Design News. I check out Shoot the Frame. I check out Minted. I check out Uppercase. And then here are business bills I need to pay. And I just need to quick glance, like, did I pay that? So I don't need to think about it. I just check it off my list when it's done. So that's kind of a look at my monthly list here. Then when it gets down to the week, I have a weekly worksheet. So here's the week of September 5th. I write in all the days. Each day I have my top 3 tasks, the things that I really need to achieve no matter what I do to move me forward. I write down how long those items are going to take me so I can look at a projection of today I need to work 3 hours minimum to get the things I need to do done and move forward. Then I also have daily prompt if I'm working on that. I have a place where I work on my weekly video. I mention my opt-in, just a checklist to remind me. And if I am working on challenges, I have that here. Anything I do repeatedly during the week, I include it in my template. So I have a catch-up time to catch up on anything I missed during the week. I spend a Skillshare check-in 30 minutes every Friday. I do bookkeeping for 1 hour every Friday, Finance Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, each Sunday I plan my next week for 30 minutes. So that's on my list. I have a place for notes, for things I come across that I want to research. If I don't get it done and it's not checked off, it moves on to a spreadsheet. I have a task list of extra things that might come up that I need to do. And then I have next week. So if something comes up in the week that I know, oh, I need to remember this next Tuesday, I put it here. And when I sit down that next Sunday to fill out this sheet for the next week, I'm going to refer to this list and transfer it on to the appropriate day. So that's how I do that. And I usually have these 2 sheets and a calendar kind of all working together side by side when I'm planning out all this stuff. And then another thing that I love to do for planning is index cards. Very high tech. So I just write down my goal, like if it's a website, and I need to have my bio written, I need to have collections done, I need to have mock-ups, I need to have a contact page, I need a bio photo. You just write down all the things you need, and then you have to figure out what's most important, what order do these go in. Then you could even break them down further. Well, okay, what do I need for my bio? I need to write 3 paragraphs, blah, blah, blah. I need to get a photo together. I need to get which email I'm going to use for contact. So you can write out all the details and kind of stack your projects according to order and kind of move things around once you have your big plan. So those are a few tools that I use to help me plan and achieve my goals. And I hope they can help you too. I'll try to get some templates online for you to use. I also keep this handy clipboard on my desk, so I have everything together. I have all my sheets here, and I can review everything that I need to. It's kind of all at my fingertips anytime I need it. All right, let me know if you have any questions or tips that you want me to know.